What's up, everybody? My name is Kyphxr, and I've been wanting to get back into making videos, just sort of talking about what's happening in the world. And considering that the country is currently on fire in more ways than one, I figured this would be a good time to get back into doing that. And so we'll start with the plane crashes. And yes, you heard that right. That's not plane crash, that's plane crashes. The first of which was in DC on January 29th. That was 4 days ago, 5 days ago, last Wednesday. And a military Blackhawk helicopter collided with PSA Airlines Flight 5342, causing both vehicles to explode, killing everyone on both vehicles. And so we have a video here of the
These videos obtained
explosion.
exclusively by CNN show previously unseen angles of the collision. The Black Hawk can be seen flying at speed over the Potomac from the left side of the screen. The American Airlines plane can be seen flying towards the airport before the two collide, causing a mid-air explosion and fall into the river. In the second video, you can see the Army helicopter and American Airlines plane travel toward each other. After the collision and subsequent explosion, the airliner can be seen spinning into the water, and the Black Hawk is also seen falling into the water.
67 people ended up dying in the resulting explosion, 3 inside the helicopter and 64 inside of the plane, 4 of who were crew members. And so earlier today, the wreckage was pulled out of the water.
Tonight, the extraordinary scene, the fuselage of that American Airlines flight pulled out of the Potomac River, the cabin in shreds, the crash with that Blackhawk killing 67 people. So far, 55 of their bodies have been identified.
And it is now being alleged that the helicopter was flying much higher than it should have been. Typically, helicopters fly at 200 feet and below, but recent reports have alleged that the crash happened somewhere around 300 feet.
Dozens of the victims' families gathering yesterday for a solemn memorial on the runway at Reagan National Airport. Now tonight the question, was there a discrepancy in the tower radar seen by air traffic control,
crazy to
which
me.
may have shown the helicopter at 200 feet?
Initial data indicates that he may have seen 200 feet. That needs to be verified.
200 and below is where the helicopter should have been, but some of the most trusted location data shows the crash happening at just over 300 feet.
And of course, it only took the big man about 5 minutes before he started crying about how this was the fault of DEI, but what do you expect when the country is being run by snowflakes?
President Donald Trump infused political heat into tragedy.
I put safety first. Obama, Biden, and the Democrats put policy first.
Mr. Trump used the majority of his remarks yesterday to claim diversity efforts led to lower aviation hiring standards put in place by Democrats and former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg.
He's a disaster now. He's just got a good line of bullshit. The Department of Transportation, his government agency charged with regulating civil aviation. Well, he runs it. 45,000 people, and he's run it right into the ground with his diversity.
When asked,
What? How can your brain be so fucked? What? It's crazy that your first instinct, 67 people die, and your first instinct is to kick and scream that you didn't get your way, and that has to be the problem. You're not going to show any sources, any evidence, anything at all to suggest that that's true because you're talking out of your ass, but you're just going to cry because, I mean, what else are you supposed to do? Have a conversation? That would be insane.
Mr. Trump offered no evidence that the air controllers or pilots were unfit for the jobs they held.
What a surprise. But like I said, not only was there one plane crash, there were actually 2 plane crashes. The second crashed in the middle of Philadelphia, killing 7 people and injuring 22.
Good morning, I'm Ross DiMattei from CBS News in Philadelphia, and we are back at the site of a deadly plane crash, a medical transport jet that crashed right into a residential neighborhood in northeast Philadelphia on Friday evening, killing all 6 people on board that plane, as well as 1 person on the ground, and injuring at least 22 other people.
This
who
is
were on the
like,
ground.
it's literally like we're in a fucking Marvel movie.
From that crash here at
Like,
the
it's
crash site,
fucking
as well
crazy.
as the giant crater left behind from the plane's impact.
Yeah, the black box,
Now,
they
over the
found
weekend,
like
federal
8 feet under the
continuing
ground.
to canvass
The
this
black
massive
box of the
debris field that
plane
spans about
was
4 to 5
buried
city
8
blocks.
feet in the
And they
ground.
found the plane's cockpit recorder buried 8 feet inside
Yeah.
of the crater where the plane crashed. That black box could be the key to revealing what exactly went wrong on board and caused the Learjet to nosedive less than a minute after takeoff. They also found the plane's enhanced ground proximity warning system, which could contain additional flight data. We're expecting the NTSB to release its preliminary report on this crash in about 30 days' time.
Just 30 seconds
This is
after
like,
takeoff.
it's so scary. Like it
A medical
feels
transport jet crashed to the ground in a ball of fire.
like
The
we're
plane had a
living
child
in a
patient and
dystopia.
5 others on board.
I don't know if they'll go over it in this video, but there was a kid who had like shrapnel from the plane embedded in his skull, and I think he survived. That he underwent surgery and they removed it.
Holy cow.
But like this
The jet
shit
was on its way
is
to
so
Missouri
scary.
after departing Northeast Philadelphia Airport.
Oh, God.
The moment
I actually don't know if Trump's made a statement, but I'm sure he's been crying about this one too.
of impact
Because you know
recorded by
the
air
plane
traffic
crashed because
control.
it's too woke, guys.
What's going on down there? We have a lost aircraft. We're not exactly sure what happened, so we're trying to figure it out.
Officials on the ground are
Dude,
scrambling
that
for
fireball
answers.
is
It was only
crazy.
afloat for a very short period of time before something went
Yeah,
terribly
wasn't
wrong.
I think the plane was only in the air for a minute. And obviously it's a little bit late to be talking about this. This happened like 3 weeks ago. But I'm pretty sure another fire just broke out like in the past few days just north of LA that spanned like another 10,000 acres. But about 3 weeks ago, California was literally on fire.
The smoke first appeared in the Pacific Palisades neighborhood west of downtown Los Angeles around 10:30 a.m. Tuesday morning. In just 20 minutes, a flicker exploded into a 200-acre monster, fanned by 80-mile-per-hour winds and fueled by bone-dry vegetation. Then
Like this
came
this
panic.
literally
Dry vegetation.
that straight up looks like a scene from Blade Runner. Like that's so crazy.
Then came panic.
There's a lot of fire right there. That's why the people coming.
When our team arrived in the Palisades an hour later, there was already gridlock in the streets.
I think the final statistic I heard was that there were 5,000 homes that were completely burned down. That's not that were damaged. That's 5,000 homes that were burned down to their foundation. The entire building is just gone. There is nothing left. This, like I said earlier that we're living in a dystopia. This is like a fucking apocalypse.
The Eaton Fire in Altadena and the Hearst Fire in Sylmar, along with several smaller brush fires, placing Los Angeles under siege. By last night,
Like,
the
that
scope
doesn't
of the
look
disaster
real.
became shockingly clear. At least 16 deaths, more than 12,000 homes and structures destroyed, and nearly 40,000 acres burned, an area larger than the entire city of San Francisco. The fires are still uncontained, with tens of thousands of people still under evacuation warnings. On Thursday in the Pacific Palisades, we met Laura Postotnik and her partner Jeffrey Swartz as they first discovered their home destroyed.
I can't even put this into words. I'm just sick and numb. That's the two words I will say.
As the
Imagine
fires still
having
rage,
your entire
Angelenos are left
home
asking how
completely
and why. While we still don't know the cause of the fires, the conditions were perfect. Southern California's annual Santa Ana winds at their mightiest, paired with drought in LA County. There's been less than an inch of rain since last July.
And so obviously these fires have since been contained. And unsurprisingly, as a result of the fires, State Farm, which has the largest coverage in that area, has requested a 22% emergency rate hike. However, even though the fires have been contained, the air in LA is not yet entirely safe to breathe.